I just got pooped on by a bird. That bird wouldn't know a good cooking course if it sat under him while he pooped. Okay. Read the recipe. Hello. One of the underrated characteristics of a good cook is simply being aware of good food. Let that sink in. I mean, you won't know how to cook a food that you don't know exists. What's nice about this fact is that you can vastly improve your cooking just by researching and tasting new food. And that's easy and fun. Being a good cook has so much to do with choosing recipes well, and that starts with broadening your sense of all the good foods there are in the world. That's pretty smart. I'm not just talking basics. I'm talking pre-basics. Welcome to Cooking 99. Ah! Growing up, I knew which foods were my favorite in the world, and I had strong opinions on that. They were mostly classic examples of American food. The most different from American food was Chinese food. Well, American Chinese food. As time went on, I started coming across more cuisines from different cultures, countries, and regions, and I came to the realization that I didn't truly know what my favorite foods in the world were. I only knew what my favorite foods were of the foods that I had tried. The same thing is true to this day, because there are so many cuisines and recipes and dishes in the world that it's practically impossible to try them all. And who knows, my true favorite could be, and likely is, one that I've never had, or maybe never even heard of. I've got more research to do. While learning to prepare dishes from other cuisines, I often learn new techniques as well. These techniques could be anything from how to tell when your rice is ready, to more efficient ways of dicing onions, to trying out unique cooking surfaces and vessels, etc. The more of these techniques that I've learned, the more confident I've become in the kitchen that my food will turn out well. Most of us have only experienced foods within one narrow cuisine before we started exploring. In this video, this seems a little late to do the in this video, but in this video, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the different kinds of food there are in the world. I'm going to keep the categories broad because there are as many cuisines as there are different types of music. And like music, lots of cuisines fit into genres. I'm going to stick to the global cuisines, the cuisines that are so popular they're recreated all over the world. All right. Bear with me, I'm going to just list them out. Okay, I've got Mediterranean, Eastern European, East Asian, Southeast Asian, Indian, Middle Eastern, West African, Ethiopian, American, Mexican, South American, Caribbean, French, and Italian. And I know I left some big ones off, but remember, I was trying to keep the categories broad and the list manageable. But if you feel strongly enough about a missing cuisine, feel free to scream type it at me in the comments. I would include a sentence describing each one, but I think that's research worth doing on your own. Besides, they all mirror each other in some ways, and most of them have wide ranges within them, from hearty foods to delicate foods. Sure, the cuisines from the colder climates will be heartier, and the cuisines from the hotter climates will be spicier. But they all use pretty similar techniques to cook them, so you can cook a lot of cuisines. The differences are usually in the spices and the ingredients that they use, and sometimes the tools that they use to cook them. Does that make sense? One interesting note. Separate cultures will often independently create very similar dishes to each other. It happens especially often when the climates of the regions are similar. And the differences are usually based on what ingredients grow well in those respective regions. Take, for example, stuffed cabbage rolls. These can be found in a few different regions with cold winters like Eastern Europe or Northern China, partly because the similar climates are conducive to growing cabbage. They are not the same though, because different spices are popular in each place and different livestock is kept. Why is this important to you? Well, if you want to branch out into an unfamiliar cuisine, you could start by finding out if there's another version of something you already love. Say you love sandwiches. Dang it! Say you love sandwiches. Say you love sandwiches. Well, every culture has a version of a sandwich, basically filling ensconced in carbs. So I would start there. You could make tacos or empanadas or steamed buns. And it's interesting to make the comparisons between those.
Takeaways.
All right, there are 3 main takeaways from this video. 1, exploring different cuisines is a great way to discover new foods you didn't know you loved. 2, exploring different cuisines is a great way to learn how to cook. Different cultures may use different ingredients in their food, but there are a lot of similarities in their fundamentals. And 3, exploring new cuisines is a great way to learn about other cultures without leaving home. So be brave, don't be afraid to try new foods, and read the recipe. Bye. And who knows, my true favorite flour.
Okay, I can do this.
Thanks for sticking around. I don't need you to subscribe or smash that like button, but I do want to answer any questions you have, so please stick them in the comments section. We'll respond to as many as we can. We also plan on doing a Q&A at some point, so if a question gets brought up enough, we'll also stick the answer in that video. Please comment away.